Got one of the best running backs in the entire country, a big, fast guy that's tough to tackle one-on-one. I think their quarterback's done a very good job of, running their offense, protecting the football, managing their offense. Of course, their special teams is extremely talented. So overall, we're playing what I believe the most talented team in the country. We're going to have to play well to win.
Questions? Gus, what's your plans for quarterback?
We hadn't decided exactly who's going to start. The other day, both of them practiced. Both of them, we expect to practice. I'm hoping by towards the end of the week to name a starter before we get to game day.
Is Sean close to 100%?
He practiced the other day, and he was much improved. I'll probably know a little bit better after today's practice, since we have a padded practice, exactly how close he is to 100%.
Is that frustrating at all, Gus, where it's rivalry game, 12th game of the season, you're still uncertain?
Well, I think the positive, you look at it now, is we got two guys we feel good about that both have experience, both have won games on the road in our league. So really, I'm looking at it more as a positive at this point in the season.
If Sean is healthy enough, will you play both?
We hadn't decided that yet either. I'll get with Coach Lashley, and probably Thursday, Friday, we'll get our plan together on how we're going to approach this game.
Coach, do you feel like now that you guys have secured bowl eligibility, there's just maybe a little bit of a looser sense around the team?
First of all, we were happy to get that win, and now we do know we're going to a bowl, but this is Iron Bowl. All that stuff's great and all that, but you focus in on this game, and very important game. Our players and our coaches understand that, and looking forward to Saturday.
What will a win mean for Auburn?
It'll mean that, we beat our rival, which is very important to us and very important to this state.
Guys, looking back to the kick six, how has that impacted strategy or coaching decisions when it comes to special teams? Have you practiced that play since?
Yeah. We try to practice all scenarios, kind of like we talked earlier in the year. You cover a lot of the different things in fall camp. The thing that stands out to me about that game is, when the game was on the line, all three phases made plays to win the game. Special teams, with the kick six, there's also a blocked field goal in the fourth quarter. Defense stopping 4th and 1. Offense driving the field, scoring a touchdown the last minute of the game. So, this game you got to make plays. And the thing that stands out about that year is, we made plays in all three phases when really the game was on the line.
In the season opener, both you and Louisville had long kicks. Neither one of you had a guy back deep. Just Bobby Petrino said it was mainly because it was indoors. He felt Dana could probably make that kick. Did you just feel that they would have?
There was a little bit to do with that, and they had a pretty good kicker too.
What's your message to the team this week heading into this game?
What's that?
What's your message to the team this week heading into the game, especially in a rivalry game like this where there's so much outside distraction and hype?
Yeah, it's just focus on us and focusing on a good plan, having a great week of practice, a great week of preparation to play a rival, and really that's the message.
How much does last year's game stick with you? You scored 44. You said you believed you could have scored 60, considering the trips inside the 10-yard line you had. Does it stick with you if going into a week like this?
Well, anytime you lose, things stick with you. The thing that stands out to me about, last year's game is, we had opportunities in the red zone and we kicked a whole lot of field goals. And then in the second half, we had trouble stopping them. And that's the two things that really stand out to me. And, but that's last year. This is a new team. They got a new team. It's a new year. We're playing at home, which I think is very critical in this rivalry. And, just looking forward to Saturday.
Is there a certain score or number in terms of points that you feel like if you get to that, then
this game is different than most games. It's really pretty hard to predict. Obviously you have to have explosive plays on offense against their defense because they're so talented. Very few teams have driven the field consistently. But you can say that just about every year when you're playing these guys. So, offensively, you got to make explosive plays. Defensively, you got to keep them from making explosive plays. So that's really the focus.
You talked about the offensive line improving, but we know what Alabama has up front. How do you see
Yeah, you know, our offensive line, I felt like overall has done a solid job. You know, the challenge now is, you know, having, you know, a new center, some changes of positions and all that. But, you know, my experience in this game is, I mean, everybody be ready to play. Both sides give their maximum effort, and they get after each other pretty good. So, you know, we'll see what happens.
You said last night to go from practice
Yeah.
Monday. Do you think there's a better chance than maybe you thought he could play?
You know, I think there's a chance. The fact that he was out there practicing, we'll be in pads today, so I'll learn more. But his mindset is very good, and matter of fact, all the guys' mindsets are very good. And you know, I think all of them, you know, this day right now are expecting to play. So, but we'll see what happens.
Is Xavier cleared yet?
No.
Where does Alabama's front seven kind of rank on? I know you've only seen them on film, but where do they rank in your mind? How good are they?
Well, they're the best in the country. I will say that. I mean, they're the most talented group. You know, a lot of those guys have played a lot of football, and they're experienced. They got a lot of depth. They put their twos in, and you know, they're like most people's ones, or maybe even better. So, but you know, you can say that just about every year. I mean, that's what they do. They've got very talented defensive fronts, and this year's no different. It may be a little bit, you know, stronger. They're impressive. I mean, you watch them on film. They're impressive. They're well coached, and they're extremely talented.
Just from a play calling standpoint with their front, how difficult is it to stay committed to a run game if it's not working?
Well, when you're playing a talented defense, you can't be one dimensional. You got to do both, and you know, that's the challenge. If they make you one dimensional, it gets extremely challenging, and so that'll be our challenge. I mean, we got to be able to run the football. We got to be able to hit some passes, and so. You know, that'll be the challenge, and it's that way every year.
Gus, we're about 1 year into Will's time here at this point. Talk about what he's done to this defense and kind of your favorite thing about what he's done.
Yeah.
How he's changed.
Well, you know, this is it's really been good to watch Will really get this defense, and it's starting to become what he wants it to be. You know, he's still going to recruit, and it will improve, but you can see the improvement. They're playing extremely hard. I think overall we're tackling well. You know, I think the best is yet to come, but he's done a very good job with our defense this year.
You expected an immediate turnaround there, and while it has improved the last 3-4 weeks, are you still happy overall where things for the course of the season don't rank that well?
Yeah, well, but I'm going to say this again. I've said this before. I mean, when you lose, you know, your impact player, Carl Lawson, you know, we played pretty good the first half that he was there. We lost him. We had a little growing pains. The guys are starting to understand, you know, Will's expectations. We're very thin in the back end. We lost Josh Holsey, our leader, early. So we've overcome a lot of different things. And since Carl's come back, you see it's starting to look like, you know, a good defense. And as a matter of fact, I think the last 3 or 4 weeks, if you combine everything, we have played good defense. And we'll need to play good defense Saturday, you know, to have a chance to win.
Who is Carl Lawson to you for this team?
Well, he's our defensive leader. I mean, he's an impact player, and just his presence, I think everybody can see it. You know, it just changes the on the field. You know, as far as that, he brings that game to practice. He's an impact player.
How's his health this week, Carl?
What's that?
How's his health this week?
I think it's good. Yeah, I think it's gotten better each week. You know, we talked about 4 weeks ago about him getting in game shape, and I think each week, you know, that he's starting to get in that game shape.
Coach, I know you kind of touched on this already a little bit, but given how Alabama's defended the run this season, do you feel like maybe you need to take a few more shots downfield early just to open things up?
No, I'm not telling you.
You expect Sean Coleman to be back in the starting lineup?
Sean practiced the other day. You know, kind of like we talked about. I mean, he could have played in an emergency situation last week, so you know, I'd say his chances of playing are pretty high.
Guess considering you're facing a guy this week in Cyrus Jones who leads the country in punt return touchdowns, do you feel like the special teams have made the right corrections since they gave a touchdown to Georgia?
Well, yeah, we're definitely focused on him. He's really tough in open spaces. He usually makes the first guy or two miss, and he's very strong. He's very confident, and that's a key to a punt returner, a good punt returner. And so we're going to have to do a good job punting. We're going to have to do a good job covering, even if it's windy.
Cyrus said yesterday that he didn't think that Auburn's receivers were anything special. I mean, how do you respond to that, and what do you think of the play of the receivers this season?
You know, we got a lot of respect for their players and their program, and so I don't have a comment.
Gus, the formation where you have a tackle split out wide, and you've had Melvin as a down line and the eligible and ineligible receiver deal. What's kind of the origins of that formation? Where did that kind of come from for you guys?
You know, that particular thing, I guess you're talking about when Sean Coleman splits out wide. I don't know. I mean, it's probably 1996, something like that.
Is that still fight song?
Could be. You guys are trying to give all of my secrets away, you know. What else we want to tell them? Reverses? Any reverses? Y'all want some reverses? Okay, we'll run some reverses, all right? You want some trick plays? We'll run some trick plays. You want to know what they're called? Just ask me.
How much do you worry about that in a week like this? About stuff getting out?
You worry about everything in a week like this. I mean, you know, in our state, and, you know, both groups keep a close eye on each other, and, you know, you worry about the confidentiality and everything. I mean, it's always high this week, but that's the way it is every year. That's part of what makes this rivalry special, though. You know, you got to be thinking ahead, and you got to be, you know, you got to protect what you're doing.
Gus, you said that Jeremy's performance last weekend was his best of the year. Kind of describe how you've seen his development throughout the year.
Yeah, well, I think the big thing is taking care of the football, protecting the football, and you know, that's where it starts, and he's done a good job of that lately, and just managing the offense with the tempo and everything that goes with it, the communication. You know, I really like the things he's done.
You guys talk about the importance of your corners having a good game Saturday, because I imagine you're going to have to continue to stop the run some.
Yeah, there'll be times we'll be in one-on-one situations. There's no doubt our corners are going to have to play well, and we're going to have to put some pressure on the quarterback when they're throwing to help those guys out too. So, you know, it kind of all works together.
How are those guys playing right now for you?
You know, we're not very deep. They're playing a lot of snaps, but overall, I think they've had a very solid year.
Do you feel like having Lance on the staff this year gives you some advantages in this game?
Well, first of all, Lance is a very good coach overall. I mean, the fact that he's been on the other side, I mean, it does nothing but help, you know, as far as information or something like that. But he's a very good coach in his own right.
You guys have scored on the opening possession 3 games in a row now. I mean, how much emphasis are you putting on that going into this game, especially considering last year having the turnover in the first?
Yeah, we turned the ball over the very first play of the game. That's never good. You know, that's big to get some momentum early, especially playing at home, try to get the crowd involved. I mean, all the above, and, you know, getting off to a fast start will be a factor in the game.
When you look at Derrick Henry, is he the best back in place this year?
You know, we hadn't actually faced him. A lot of times until you face somebody, but I remember last year he was a load, and you look on film, it's hard for one guy to tackle him, and you know, he's big, strong guy and fast. He doesn't need too much of an opening, and you know, he has a lot of explosive plays. You know, he can finish. You know, he gets the second level, and he's a finisher. I mean, he's not going down real easy when he gets to second level. So he's one of the best in the country. I mean, there's no doubt.